going to share with you today how I plan for my CKLA skills lessons. I always begin with my teacher manual and I read everything that I'm going to need for that lesson. I love the lesson at a glance. It tells me what materials I need to get together. And so my students have their code flipbooks already in their desk. We use them every day. And I make sure that they already have their green crayons or red crayons or blue or whatever it is we're going to be needing for that lesson. And then I always make sure I have my code flipbook handy, the big one, for the skills and the vowels, so that way I'm ready to display whatever sound it is we're working on for that day. I also use my spelling cards and I make sure I have those ready, and I look through the story, if there's a story for that day that we're going to be reading, and I make sure that I know what we're covering, so when they ask me a question I'm already prepared to answer that. And I also go through and make sure that I study all of the sounds and make sure that I'm going to say them properly, because sometimes even as a teacher it's hard not to say the wrong sound, or sometimes just the way we speak, you know, we say it a little bit differently. So I make sure I practice and look at what the teacher manual says, that the way that I need to be pronouncing it, and I just kind of go through, and you can kind of see I make notes, I underline specific things, and I look for anything that I think might be tricky for students. I make sure I check like the pages in their workbooks. We're second grade, so they pull out their own workbook pages, but I also go through their workbook when I'm planning and just make sure how it's presented. Sometimes it looks a little bit different in my book, or the way I'm presenting it. I also use some slides. I don't use every slide, but especially for the different students in my classroom, to meet all of their needs, I think the slides are really good, as they're a great visual, and anytime I can use them I do. And specifically I use the digital components to display the worksheets that we're working on, and either I walk around the entire time they're working, if it's a partner working situation or a small group or individual, or I pull my own group. But I'm always making sure I'm watching what they're doing and trying to model and observe the correct way if they're not doing something, and looking over that. But the main thing is just to be really prepared, and I look and make sure that I'm covering all the standards, all the skills, and everything that I'm supposed to be covering in that lesson. And I'm not going to try to find it while I'm teaching. I have it already and laid out, so I'm ready for the lesson that day. So I hope this helps you in planning your lessons too.